Well, fancy seeing you here.
Taking it to the house every time he touches the football, baby. Taking it to the house every time he touches the football, baby.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Right straight from the rip, we got our boy Angel, a.k.a. Andor, dropping the $100 hauler that he said he'd drop if House Call Hendy scored his touchdown. Not only did he score one touchdown, he said, in case Andor, a.k.a. Angel, didn't see it, I'll score 2 touchdowns. I'll score 2 touchdowns. And if Hendy didn't need to make a statement enough, he said, let me score 2 50-plus yard touchdown runs. Let me take both of those mofos to the house.
Taking it to the house every time we touch.
And while he was running, I don't know if you noticed, while he was running down the sideline, he looked over at his coach. He picked up the phone and said, Coach, and he beelined to the middle of the field. Says, Coach, I can't, I'm going pretty fast here. Should I take this into the end zone? Okay, I'll take it into the end zone. Coach, doing it live.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Wow. There's look, doing what I do comes with some negatives. I'm not going to sit here and say anybody should feel bad for me. I love what I do. I wouldn't choose any other profession. But it sucks to watch somebody so good that you called, is the elite talent, one of the premier talents in the league at a position like Hendy as the running back, and watching a coaching staff just continue to not do what you would do, what I would do, what you would do, what all of us would do, which is ride those coattails into the end zone every single damn time he touches the ball. And it almost didn't even happen. It almost didn't even happen. Jennings started to get more work than we wanted, and then Jennings got hurt, went out with an injury, and House Call Hendy was the only guy left. And so Vrabel had to use him. And this is what made him high risk. I got a couple people in my comments saying, Smitty, you told me that it was a safe play to go Manungai or so-and-so, and then high risk, high reward Hendy. That's why Hendy was high risk, but he was high reward as well. And if you wanted to eat meatloaf and not hamburger helper, you'd have to take a little risk.
I smell meatloaf. Hey, Ma, the meatloaf.
Mashed potatoes.
And Hendy proved himself to be the glorious running back that he is, taking 2 house calls, not 1, but 2 house calls to the mother freaking end zone. And he did so from a 50-plus variety sort of fashion. This was a 70-yarder and a 54-yarder, if I remember correctly. Hendy is an absolute monster. And it's so frustrating to watch this unfold, to sit here and go, it sucks being me. It sucks being me. Here I am touting Hendy all day long. Triple H and Associates is back in business, by the way.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates, locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Look, I know we're missing Hampton and Hunter. They didn't show up for work. They haven't showed up for work for months. And yeah, Harvey's and everybody's pissed off at them right now. But Buka and Hendy are pulling their weight. And can we, before we get to, we're going to get to Buka in a minute, but just a nice little standing ovation for Buka. 100 yards and a touchdown. Baker's back. 100 yards and a touchdown for Book. Taking it to the house. Everyone touches Everyone he touches, he's the football baby. I appreciate you. It's a glorious day.
Taking it to the house every time he touches the football baby.
And you know what's so frustrating is Bijan. Where is Arthur Smith? Did somebody call up Arthur Smith and say, Arthur Smith, get on over here and coach our running back room again? Because there's panic chamber conversation that needs to be had about the Falcons. Not necessarily Bijan. I'm buying Bijan low. I'll ruin some of the panic chamber content. But tonight we'll probably go panic chamber style on Bijan. This is a celebration show. This is a show for people that said, hey, Smitty, Hendy, we cutting him. He's so trash. Hendy's not trash. His situation has been trash. It has been. And as good as Vrabel is in terms of the wins and losses and how May's producing, it's been head-scratching. Why? And there's no defending Vrabel on this. There's defending Vrabel's outcome in the game. I get it. But it's so frustrating to watch a team draft this kid in the second round and not use him. And just not use him. And look what happens when you use him. House call Hendy. There's a reason we came up with this. Everybody's calling him House call Hendy, by the way. Everybody is calling him House Call Hendy. Operation House Call Hendy successful. And how many people, can you guys tell me a tally real quick? Just take a guess, 4, 3, 5. How many people in the chat have already said something? I can guarantee you they have. Oh, Ramondre's going to be back next week. Ramondre's going to be back next week. You guys are all, I know you're all having a good time in here, but Ramondre's coming for his job. How many times? I'm going to guess 4 people have already done that in the chat. At least a couple. If any, look, leave those people alone. They're having a real rough day today. If I had to guess, this is the second or first top-ranked day for this channel this year. I don't think we've had a better day. Maybe one day, one Sunday's been better than this one. We've been crushing it today. We haven't even begun to go over what is ensued. Hendy's just the tip of the iceberg. But for those that were sleeping under a rock all day long, Hendy dropped. Wait, this is funny. Hendy sucked last week on 14 carries and 4 receptions. This week he got less work. This week he got 14 carries just like last week. But he was trash. He was a trash bag to a lot of people on his 14 carries last week. That's not enough work for you. You got all upset. Your panties in a bunch. You got all upset about Hendy. Hendy got 3 less receptions. I think he had 1 reception, adding a 3-yard reception. 1 reception instead of 4. 14 carries just like last week's 14 carries. This week, 147 yards and 2 touchdowns, both of which were over 50 yards.
Let him cook.
So, hate him all you want, complain about him all you want. Oh, Stevenson's coming back. Show the entire room right now. Show the entire room how many times you dropped Hendy. Or show the room how much you're just hating this right now because you predicted his demise and wrote it everywhere and you're worried about what people are going to say about it. Look, Hendy's here. He's arrived. Is there a world where Vrabel can mess this up? It's possible. Could Vrabel, if Stevenson were to get back, and we'll have more news on Stevenson tomorrow. And Harvey's on the rise too because JK's getting second opinions on his foot. The Triple H and Associates might be back in business almost 80%.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates.
It might be back
Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
near 80%. I mean, it really could be. It's close.
Call the Associates.
Hello? Triple H and Associates? Yeah. 2 touchdowns. I told you for Hendy, 1 for Buka. Okay, next week you need Harvey on board. We can take care of that.
You've just been Smitty approved.
What a day. What a day. This has to be the best or second best Sunday that this show's had this year for sure. I mean, we crushed it today. Ibuka is another one that we got to talk about, one of our marvels. Ibuka 6 of 13. You know, that's kind of an alarming number that he's on, and it's not his fault. 6 of 13, 115 yards and a touchdown. Baker was in a mixed bag. This is a tough opponent, tough situation. Week 10 loss against the same team, New England Patriots. But Buka was in his bag. Buka almost had another touchdown. This could have been a very, very big day, very similar to House Call Hendy's day. Had just one of those connected, but Buka still played marvelous, is continuing to be on the rise, and one of the league's top, 5 to 7 wide receivers. Love what we're getting out of Book. Book was fantastic in this game, and it's nice to see Baker back. He used Otton like we predicted. Where's Otton's box score, just so I can get that actually out of the way. Otton was fantastic in this one. We knew that he would be pretty good, and it was a great tight end recommend on this channel for a majority of the week. 9 of 12, 82. Good little outing. 9 and 82 is solid. Continue to monitor him on the waiver wire if he's still out there, and potentially pick him up if you're in need. This guy, Devon Achane. Can we get a standing ovation for our boy Achane? By the way, as soon as I ended the live stream this morning, there was a report that came through the breaking news wire in the studio here, and the red phone rang, and they said spinach was sold out at every location close to the stadium. All the spinach had been consumed by this man, and it was very evident that a big day was going to ensue. 22 totes, 174, 2 touchdowns in the week 10 win over the Bills, adding 6 catches for 51 yards. This was House Call Achane that was doing his work today.
Achane. Achane is the man. His haters call him small,
But he is 9 feet tall.
Achane is the man.
Bring it in, boys. Bring it in. Bring it in. Bring it in. All right. All right. Little further. Little further. All right. Set him down. You know what to do. This man. This man. Miami Mike McDaniel looked pretty coherent for the first presser in a while. I don't know if you've seen Miami Mike McDaniel, but he's like, and Miami Mike McDaniel walked up to that podium spry as a sea turtle, and he walked up and he said, and he's very coherent talking about this team. He was peppy, had a little pep in his step, and boy, did they utilize a game plan that was very, very, very effective for this man right here, Devon Achane. Achane is a marvel. And again, league winner, top 5 overall pick if you were drafting today moving forward, I venture to say. Achane's just an insane ingredient to have in your fantasy football roster, as is JT, and we'll get to JT in a second. JT, Achane, Gibbs. Bijan's the one falling behind in this race. CMC had a mediocre day today, but will probably bounce back in his next contest. But this has become a JT, Achane, and Jahmyr Gibbs situation right now. JT's phenomenal. Achane's phenomenal. Gibbs phenomenal. These are hat trick capable players anytime they're on the field touching the ball. And the fact that Campbell took over play calling, which was announced before this game, it was a solid lean that Gibbs would return to form. It was a solid indication that JMO would start producing in one of our best buy lows. And JMO, we'll talk about in a second, dropped 100 and a touch in this game. back to Achane. Just want to say happy Achane Day. What a glorious outing from this man, Devon Achane. If you had him, I mean, you had a day. And on the note of Jahmyr Gibbs, let's bring Jahmyr Gibbs' game log into play here. Gibbs was absolutely explosive. Where's my Jahmyr Gibbs? Let me see if I can find Gibbs. Where you at, Gibby? Oh, boy, Gibbs had a day. Just a marvelous day. Damn, I thought I had a screenshot of Gibbs' production, and I don't know that I took the screenshot. Let me see if I can find it real quickly and pull it on screen. Gibbs was unbelievable. Just unbelievable with his hat trick game. Let me see if I can find it. I don't have it. Let me pull the screenshot of the game and drop it on screen here. Gibbs was just fantastic. All right, here's the Lions box score that I put over. Actually, I put it over here. Here's where it was. All right, box score. Let's box score Bobby the hell out of this game. Jahmyr Gibbs, 15 totes. Same thing as Hendy. Like, getting that 14-15 efficiency type of production out of that workload. 142 yards. You can see right here. 142 yards, 2 touchdowns, 15 totes, 142, 9.5 a pop. Then down here at the bottom, Gibby, 3 catches, 30 yards and a touchdown. Hat trick day. J-Mo, 6 of 1 for 119 and a touchdown. Goff, 3 TDs, 320. Was a really sneaky play. We like Goff this week. Over on this side of the fence, don't worry about any of that. There's nothing over there. Mariota, if you started him in a desperate play, congrats on that, but I'm not sure. Debo had 29 and a touch. That was solid. He salvaged if you did end up playing him. He's hard to play. But Gibbs was just absolutely explosive. And this is one of the best buy lows. We talked about it all week long. We've talked about it for 2-3 weeks straight. Buy him. And coming off kind of a concerning little, they going to, rotate these guys. And how's it going to look? And last week, everybody worried like they are about Bijan this week. Coming off of a very bad week 10, Bijan will be panic chamber material. But remember that people were panicking on Gibbs. Hat trick Gibbs. And honestly, there's an algorithm to this. There's science and data actually behind why Gibbs is as good as he is. And we're the only ones that have this data. But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megabolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10.
Got him.
Gibbs was phenomenal. Gibbs was so phenomenal today. Achane, Gibbs, and JT were just unbelievable. And just let's get JT the respect he deserves. JT is one of the bigger misses on this channel, I'll admit. And I always admit my misses. People say I don't. People like to hate me for whatever reason. If you aren't getting haters, then you're not doing it right. But I admit this all the time. This is one of my bigger misses, JT. He's been an unbelievable, consistent, healthy monster in an offense I did not think would be playing well this year behind Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes was the part that truly I got wrong because that was going to trickle down to this situation. But Danny Dimes, even though he struggled the last 2 games, he has had this offense moving the football down the field. And Tyler Warren, quietly our number 1, number 2, sometimes at times number 3, but top 3, dark horse top 3 tight end call of this channel. I think he was on the Marsmen.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars
Yes,
men.
Marsmen. Warren, Garrett Wilson. What a disappointment
Loads
today.
dropping and spinning aim.
Tyler Warren is just a machine. And this whole unit, this Indianapolis Colts unit, led by Danny Dimes, even though he's struggling, it's efficient, it's fun, it's exciting, it's opportunistic, it's living near the red zone. And JT, and honestly, I mean, 244, 2 touchdowns, and 3 catches for 42 yards. Gibbs, Achane, JT, people were saying, I went against Gibbs or JT, I'm cooked. And it's like, don't be so quick to downgrade your situation and discredit the fact that Gibbs or Achane can do the same thing and counterbalance this thing. And JT, Gibbs, and Achane were racing to be the top dog this week in fantasy football. They were, and Hendy's up there too, but they were all just magnificent. This was the week of the running backs. Remember a couple weeks ago we had running backs like barely doing anything? This was the week of the RB. It was crazy how much production we got out of these RBs today. It was wild. And while we're at it real quickly, just going over the 3 games from the afternoon games, Brissett he had 2 TDs, actually got a little bit more in his bag as the game went along. Started off really, really bad. DeMarcado, 64 yards. Trey McBride, 127 and a touch. DeMarcado caught 3 passes for 40 yards. He had a nice little day. DeMarcado is definitely the guy right now until Benson returns. Zach Charbonnet took over the backfield, it appeared, but Walker still got the same amount of carries. And they both did well yards per carry. Sharp's a little bit better, but Sharps gets those touchdowns, and that's what makes him dangerous. Kenneth Walker catching the 1 pass for 3 yards. JSN concussion protocol, we'll look into that. But 5 for 93 and a touch. Unfortunate on the concussion. Kupp had a nice big long catch, but I wouldn't necessarily, it was a long of 67 out of the 74 yards. Wouldn't necessarily buy into that. Shaheed was a very big disappointment, 1 catch for 3 yards. That running back room in Seattle is tough to peg because, they're using George, they're using Kenneth, they're using Zach, they're using all 3 of them. But Sharps is definitely the guy to own, and he's not a bad running back, too, in desperation situations if you're running him out there. This Niner game against the Rams, Christian McCaffrey, 12 for 30, and then he pulled in 8 for 66. So definitely a decent day for him at the office when you consider the receiving production. So he's able to put together a pretty solid day. But people were disappointed they didn't get that Gibbs, Achane, JT game. But he's been doing it all year, so you can't really get too upset over a line like that. Devontae Adams suffered a little back injury / spasm. We'll see how that is heading into the week. Puka Nacua, 5 for 64 and a touch. Devontae Adams, 77 and a touch. 4 touchdowns out of Stafford, who was a very sneaky start for us this week. We talked about Stafford quite a bit. 280 and 4. Kyron Williams, 73 and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Oh, but Kyron's not explosive. But Kyron, he's averaging 5.2 yards per carry. 14 totes, 73 yards, 5.2 a pop, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams, 2 catches, 11 yards. Pretty explosive to me. Kyron Williams, if you ask me, is 7 feet tall. I would love for somebody to prove me wrong.
He's Kyron, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyron, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
So, Kyron's a monster. Kyron was phenomenal. And then I think that's all of it. We did the afternoon games. Let's get to the rest of these news clippings that I have here. Bijan, this was the panic situation for Bijan. 17 totes, 84 yards. Not like a bad line. Like, he didn't do bad himself. They just didn't use him. When they got around the goal line, they kept plugging Algier in there. And they were so excited when Algier punched in 2 touchdowns and vultured Bijan. And when the game was on the line, they put Algier in at the goal line, not for one play, not to give Bijan rest. They absolutely planned and decided. They decided and made a commitment to use Algier at the goal line. Every time they got near the goal line, it was Algier. And Algier vultured 2 Bijan touchdowns. I'm here to tell you, I don't care if Algier did well. If you're saying something lazy like, but Algier looked pretty good, I don't care about Algier, how he looked. I'm telling you that everything Algier can do, Bijan can do better. So it doesn't matter. If Algier was really good, Bijan would be even better. If Algier was a 7 out of 10 on that play, then Bijan would be a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 on that play. If Algier was getting 4.8 yards per carry, Bijan gets 5.3. If Algier was going to score a touchdown on 2 carries, Bijan would have got it in 1 carry. And it's asinine to me that this coaching staff still has a job. They should fire everybody because they don't know what they're doing. They're erratic. They make Penix Jr. look a lot worse than he is because Penix Jr. can have a good day and then he has a horrible day. The play calling's putrid. They don't cater to Penix Jr.'s skill set. He's still learning the game. This is essentially his rookie year. I think people don't realize that this is essentially Penix Jr.'s rookie year, and he's going to have some good and bad games. And for everybody wanting to write him off entirely, they should understand that every rookie quarterback will go like this. It's natural, but this staff is doing him no favors, and they all should be fired because they don't know what to do. And they got so excited over the usage of Algier when he scored, it makes me feel like they're enabled. So there is a Panic Chamber episode coming tonight, but you might be surprised that I'm not as hard leaning toward being panicked, but there is some concern, and we'll talk about where that concern lies. But this was an absolute disgrace to give this man 84 yards, no touchdown opportunities. You keep shoving Algier out there like you don't understand that this is the actual best football player in the league. Bijan. Barkley even says the best footwork and best running back in the National Football League. Doesn't matter. We're not talking about fantasy football output. We're not talking about fantasy football production. I'm saying that this is the number one running back in the NFL, and he isn't used. They take him out. This is like Hendy all over again. This feels like what we've been dealing with Hendy. All of a sudden, we're now getting the tables turned and feeling it with Bijan out of the blue. Out of the blue, too. He's been awesome all year. They've been leaning on him all year, and they've recently started to shift toward this, and it doesn't make any sense, and people should be fired. And if they had won, it would be even worse, but they lost, which was good, and that will potentially at least put some sort of, okay, what do we do to get back on track instead of, oh, this is a great win. We did it by doing what we did. Let's continue to do it. Tez Johnson, nice crafty little play today. We talked about that on a few of your questions where we said, you know what, Tez, we think Tez can have a nice little day as Baker bounces back. Tez had a nice little day, 42-2. 42-2 for the Tez machine. The Tez dispenser. He was fantastic. Tez dispenser, touchdown, thank you. Touchdown, thank you. 2 touchdowns in the books. Here's our boy Rome. Now, we did caution that this could be a weather game. If the weather clears up, he could do good. And if it doesn't, he could get phased out of the game and they could run a ton. Weather cleared up. Adunze was really solid in this game. Returned to the form that we kind of expected. This is why he's been a buy low player for us. The last 2-3 weeks, a very good, sneaky good. One of the very last players that might have the resemblance of a wide receiver one in fantasy. Might be 12 or 13 or 14 or 11, but this guy has the potential. The problem is Caleb sees him. Sometimes Caleb sees him. Other times Caleb missed him on multiple attempts. One touchdown at least. I think there was 2 that Caleb could have had another score with Adunze on a connect, and he just doesn't see him sometimes. Caleb, you might want to. I know there's a lot of people are going to come in here and say, "Oh, Caleb's him." Caleb was very bad in a lot of this game. There was a lot of bad that Caleb, at the end of the game, Caleb had a good run, which is what he's good at, scrambling. He's got really good ability to escape. His escape ability is really, really solid. He had 1 touchdown, took him forever to get it to Adunze. They finally connected. Everyone's acting like Caleb had the greatest game ever. Finally got a touchdown connected with Caleb after Adunze after a bunch of struggles. And then Caleb used his feet very, very well. Ran a touchdown in the end zone, had 2 total scores. And then at the end of this game, the defense bailed him out again. So you can say what you want about Caleb. Caleb wasn't amazing in this game. It's insane how many people love Caleb so much they're blinded by it. Caleb played better than Penix, of course. No one's saying that Penix Jr. is playing better than Caleb right now. And not to mention Ben Johnson is absolutely in his bag. Love Rome, though. Definitely feel like Rome is going to be something special, especially of those of you that bought low on the Rome Adunze situation. Kyle Monangai scored a quick touchdown. Looked like it was going to be a big day for him. They gave him 7 totes for 28 yards and a touchdown. Salvaged the day. This is what his floor was. His floor was a safe 7, 8, 9, 10 points. That's probably what he was going to get you no matter what. He did get you that. The problem was he didn't get overutilized as the hot hand approach was actually deployed, and Swift had some big rips, and they kept Swift in, and Monangai didn't get used. I still very much like Monangai, and this is a situation that could rotate, and Swift could have a tough time staying healthy given his injury history. So you keep you keep a hold of this guy. You don't cut him. This is why you don't trade, though. Even though we're excited about Monangai, I still very much am. but you don't trade big name players for Monangai. Monangai was somebody that you picked up. You had a pot of gold. It still could be that valuable. Nobody should be running away from this kid. Nobody should be saying that Monangai doesn't have upside or should be dropped or you should move on from him. Monangai was a monster a week ago, and he looked really good today when they gave him the ball. And he scored a nice little touchdown plunge. I really still like Monangai. We'll have to see what your options are walking into the week in terms of, starting him or not starting him. Woody Marks got injured in this game, but came back and then was amazing. So avoided a horrible potential situation. 63 yards and a touchdown. Loved the way Woody ran today. They were really excited about using him. You could tell that the coaching staff still very much believes in Woody. Woody, fantastic day for Woody.
Stop on the rise.
Very, very good. Very, very good. Drake London, 104 in the early game, the overseas game, 6 of 8, 104 and a touchdown was fantastic. Expect, more of the same of Drake, assuming he stays healthy and is healthy. Dalton Kincaid re-injured his hamstring. Will monitor the situation. He did not return to the game. Looked like he definitely pulled up, and there could be some missed time, unfortunately, for Kincaid, who has trouble staying healthy. Quinshon Judkins didn't get the touchdown opportunities we wanted in this game, but he did have 75 yards and 22 totes. Wasn't the game that we had hoped. When put in a situation to decide between him and players like, Henry or anybody else, there was a lean toward this is the only negative of this offense is if they don't move the ball through Gabriel, then they don't get near the end zone. And that's the main concern for Judkins. Judkins remains a great buy low. He's still a top 12 running back potential play. And this game probably puts him at such a good buy low value. I'm going to try and get Judkins in every league that still allows for trading because his value just went well outside running back 1 territory. People are going to be scared. The injury, which obviously no effects from that, but the injury last week, or the week prior, the bye week, he healed up. And then this outing not being all that great is going to make Judkins a pretty good buy low. The offense will always be a concern. And we had a little debate on this 2 nights ago on the live stream. I think it was Friday night on the live stream, the vertical live stream out and about when I was out and about traveling around the Phoenix area, doing a live stream like I do at least once a week on the phone. We talked about Judkins versus Barkley. And there was a big debate in the chat. And the reason I said that I lean toward Barkley is his offense is probably going to put him in positions to score more frequently. But Judkins still has upside to be a running back 1. Barkley just lives in a world where it's probably more conducive. Now, it hadn't been, and my argument to it was that he hadn't quite got into a position where they were using him properly. But it seems like they're going toward that from week 9 on, or week 8 on. He had a bye in week 9, and Barkley is going to, I think, explode in week 10 here. So his game is yet to play. Barkley will explode on Monday night. I think they're going to lean on him down the stretch. He's fresh. Didn't want anybody to draft him. He hasn't produced or earned the value that people paid, but it has been buy low territory. If you look at my last 3 YouTube videos prior to this one this morning for the Start Bench show, actually, no, he's on that one too. I have Barkley in the graphic of the last 3 videos on this channel. Barkley, Barkley, Barkley. It has been nothing but go get Barkley, go get Barkley, go get Barkley. He's been atop of the buy low boards, and I really think Barkley is going to potentially win leagues, as will a lot of these other players that are on this list. Make sure you're buying. Now, on the running back list, let me see if I can find that running back list. I think I still have it here. Did I get rid of the running backs? I might have gotten rid of the running back rankings. Oh, is it right here? Maybe it's right here. Oh yeah, it's right on screen there. Okay, there it is. So here's the running back buy lows. Now, for those of you that can still trade, this is the number 1 buy low of the week. This is the board that we ranked going into the week. This is why Barkley was on 3 straight videos. Judkins remains a buy low. Dowdle we'll go over Dowdle in a minute, having a mediocre day. He scored, but he's a buy low. Some of you can't trade. Henry having a mediocre day, still a buy low. Bucky, still some unknowns right now, buy low. Everybody but Barkley, I think, will come out of this week as still remaining a good buy low. Good luck getting Hall on the cheap. We'll see about Jacobs. Javante's on a buy. You still could potentially buy him low. Hendy, you can't get anymore. Harvey, probably harder to get than you think because of the news surrounding JK. But Judkins, Dowdle, Henry, Bucky, all still good buy low candidates from the buy low list from last week. Thank you, Angel, again for that super chat. We'll be getting to it in a second. JSN, evaluated for concussion. I'll keep you posted on that. Josh Allen was pretty bad in this game, but he ended up having 306 and 2 touchdowns. So he ended up salvaging fantasy-wise, but a very good buy low opportunity for somebody that can still trade, and you need a quarterback, and somebody that has Josh Allen, has somebody like Stafford, has someone like May, whatever. Maybe they love Caleb, and they've got Caleb on the roster. You could figure out a way to get Josh Allen pretty cheaply, and I think he explodes down the stretch. JJ's going to be in the panic chamber tonight. I'm not saying that everybody should assume what I'm going to say about it, because just because you make it in the panic chamber doesn't mean that we're running away from you. But JJ's situation is dog water. McCarthy's just not it. I know my boy Sick Nasty's out there. Sick Nasty, I don't know how you feel about McCarthy. I'd be very curious to know how you feel about him right now. He's just not it. I don't think he's it. You could say the same thing about Penix Jr. or about JJ as I said about Penix Jr. Kind of his rookie year. Maybe he'll get better. I understand all that. But right now, JJ gets held back by JJ McCarthy. And it's hard to watch. 4 receptions he pulled in from 12 targets. That is a putrid number that isn't JJ's fault. Maybe one of them, maybe 2 on a rare occasion, but this was such an awful situation walking out of this. It's an awful situation. It remains an awful situation. The 9, yeah. He's got to go to the 9. Sometimes I go find, he says number 9. That's how he calls himself. I guess he gets in a little mode. I don't know. I don't know what to say. JJ definitely, yeah, Hybrid's got a good point. At least he's getting targets. I mean, 12 targets is a lot, but when they're not catchable, it doesn't really matter. Did he get 12 targets or did he really just get 4? I could paint it, I could paint a pig yellow, but is it a yellow pig? No. If I could paint this 12 targets, but is it really 12 targets if you just throw the ball onto the ground or throw it out of bounds over and over and over? I don't think so. So, I mean, we could try and draw some positives out of this, but JJ, it is buy low season for JJ. I still buy him low, 100%. Would I bank a whole entire league? Like, I'm not the number one team. I'm trying to make a comeback. I need to make a trade. I need to do something different to even get into the mix. Would I put my season on the line in a volatile state on JJ? Sure. And I'll talk about that all week long if you can still trade. Just like I would do the same thing for Derrick Henry, who had 20 carries, 75 yards, and people are disappointed. Judkins and Henry disappointed people, but they played well for what they were given, but they just didn't have explosive games or the touchdowns. And keep in mind, again, last week Hendy had 14 carries. This week Hendy had 14 carries. The difference is one of them he did nothing with. The other he did 147 yards and 2 TDs of damage with. And so, sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes the plays they're just bad, design plays, and you don't get room to run, or you get tripped up and you almost had a touchdown, or a touchdown gets called back. Rico Dowdle, 18 totes, 53 yards and a touchdown. Not very efficient running, but it was effective and a lot of totes, and the touchdown was nice. It's a salvage day, 3 catches, had some, 4 points in PPR work. So it wasn't a bad day at the office. Double-digit points is always good. Anytime you score around 14, 15 points on a salvage type day, I'm fine with that. I'm buying Rico low. Jackson Dart, concussion, ruled out. He continues to play like Scattaboo. He's going to get hurt. He's got to be more. He's not going to be, though. You could tell this kid, 100 times, hey, slow down. Don't put your body at risk. Did you see your boy Scattaboo? And Scat's injury, you could say, is more freak, but Scat puts his body at risk every play. Dart puts his body at risk every play. Neighbors puts his body at risk every play. These are probably the three most injury-prone trio you could find in football going forward, but they're damn exciting. And I can't wait to see Dart, Scat, and Neighbors together. But how many games will they play together? Is this a fair statement to say that the odds of this trio playing games together, we're probably going to get like 50% of the time? We're going to see these three on the field at the same time. But Dart being looked at for a concussion, of course, he scored 2 touchdowns again, and then he doesn't score more than that. He couldn't because he was concussed, but that's how Dart does it. He scores 2 quick scores, or he scores 2 touchdowns. You think it's going to be a 4 or 5 touchdown day out of Dart, and it ends up being 2 touchdowns. So that's what Dart did. Garrett Wilson re-injured his knee. This was devastating. 0 points. Re-injured his knee. Did you no good. Everyone didn't even know if he played. He re-injured his knee. I highly doubt he's ready. This is going to be devastating for those that are counting on Garrett Wilson. James Cook, buy low. 13 totes, 53 yards, a fumble, 5 catches for 24 yards. Not a very big day. You can bet that this team will want to get back to what works, which is ground and pound, getting Josh Allen more efficient that way because he's going to have this defensive attention on Cook. And Breece Hall, 21 totes for 83 yards and a 42 receiving score. Breece was fantastic in this game. There was another touchdown opportunity that wasn't it was called back. That play was called back on Breece. Wasn't it? What was it? A run? It wasn't a touchdown run. Breece had a day. Don't trade Hendy. Who's trading Hendy already? Nico Collins, one of the better buy lows of the week. We talked about Nico over and over and over as one of the better buy low players, not only from week 9, but carried over to week 10. Nico Collins, trust him, even with Mills in there, trust him. He is one of the league's most premier wide receivers that has trouble staying healthy and has started off slow, but Nico's absolutely got top 5 to 7 wide receiver potential, and you get to buy him quite arguably outside the top 12 wide receivers, making him essentially a wide receiver 2 in your cost of entry if you were to have traded before this week. And Nico delivered 7 receptions on 15 targets, similar to what we're talking about with JJ. Like, imagine if he had more efficiency, in his throwing his direction. 136 yards was unbelievable in this game. I think he stays on track. I don't want to say he gets back on track. He just got on track, but I think he stays on track. He's going to be a great trade piece or a great go get move for those of you that did it before week number 10 kicked off. Chris Olave, 5 of 8, 104 yards and a touchdown. Got injured in this game, ended up coming back in and made a remarkable highlight reel catch. You'll probably see it everywhere. It's the catch of the week. It was a one-handed behind. It was crazy. But Olave is such a talent. I really wish he would have went to New England. That would have been a great marriage between Olave and the Patriots and Drake May. But yeah, so Chris Olave, fantastic day. Let me pull up this game. When's the game starting here? Shortly. Let me get through these super chats real quickly. Let me pull up the game just so I have it and realize when kickoff occurs. For all I know, the game is already kicked off. That's the way it rolls for me. All right, let me lower this. Okay, I got the game on here. Let me hit these super chats. Let's see here. Angel, appreciate you with the super chat, the $99 hauler. Let's hit that button for Angel.
Smitty. Everybody.
Angel said he'd drop a $100 hauler when Hendy scored, and boy did he. This one from Flea Nice, winning 162 to 139. He has Herbert. I can play Keenan Allen or Chargers tight end Gadsden. I would go Gadsden. Tough call other than other team. Great day by the young back Sharps, Hendy, Woody. Need Devontae Adams to be okay. Play Darnold. F that guy, says Flea Nice. Flea Nice, congrats on winning, though. You're winning. I would go Gadsden. Chat, can we vote Gadsden or Keenan Allen? It's a close call. Trust your gut. I've had a few people today get mad at me because on the 50-50 calls, we did a safe, low risk, maybe lower ceiling call with like a Manungai or whatever versus a high risk, high reward Hendy. We get people complaining left and right. It's so amazing how many times we have to talk about how good Hendy is and that he comes with extreme risk, but he comes with the extreme upside. The same thing kind of plays here with Gadsden. Gadsden's got more risk, but more upside. Keenan Allen may be steady, but he might be a little less upside. So I'd say I would probably go with the upside play personally. Not like Aaron says, any underdog picks for tonight. I would say I'd go INT for Aaron Rodgers. I would go higher on Vidal rushing. James with a $20 or 20 gifted memberships. 20 gifted memberships. Appreciate you. Any underdog picks? Yeah, that's what I got right now. I'm not super keen on the Sunday night matchup here for those picks, but we'll have some for Monday for sure. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, my guy. This one here from John. John says, thank you, Smitty. Saved my season. John, you saved your own season, and we appreciate you, my boy. Hendy, diet, spinach, meatloaf, and TD, says Leland. Leland, thank you for the super chat. $20 hauler here from Joseph.
Super chat.
Joseph, appreciate your $20 hauler, my guy. Joseph, to the mother freaking moon. Appreciate what you do each day. Truly the best show. Hebrew Hammer here. 14-man, half point, Dak, CD, Nico, Gibbs, ETN, Vidal, Fannin, T, Tez on my bench. Any moves that you see 6 and 4? I like the squad a lot. ETN showed good signs of life. You got Tootin tied to him. Tez looks pretty good, actually. I like this team. I don't think I move much. I think I keep it the way it is, unless I'm going to trade buy low on Bowers. That would be really intriguing. So if you could maybe get Bowers doing something with... Honestly, I think between... you could maybe trade Vidal. Let's see what Vidal does, but you could maybe trade Vidal in a Bowers move if Vidal had as good a game as he had 2 weeks ago. That's how good Vidal played. People would have died to get Vidal. Now they think he's trash. So if he blows up again, there's an opportunity to maybe do some sort of deal. Like a T for Bowers, a T Vidal for Bowers and something. If not, I kind of like what you got here, and I don't think I messed too much with it. I even like T. But, trading for a player like... Damn, I mean, like ETN for Judkins on the cheap, ETN for Dowdle on the cheap. I think we could explore some of those running backs, like even Henry that had a bad game, if we can potentially move ETN off of a pretty nice day, scored, and you've got that T. Higgins ability to trade him on the high. Not saying T. Higgins falls off or doesn't play well, but he's a nice trade piece that you could buy low in a 2-for-2, or trade in a 2-for-2 to buy low. Appreciate your super chat. Let's explore it after this game. The dust hasn't really settled much for me to give you a much more than that yet, but I'll certainly we'll figure out something this week for sure. Rambo, appreciate you. Scored 170 plus in a 10 out of 12 leagues. In 10 out of 12 leagues, 170 plus in 10 out of 12 leagues.
Mashed potatoes!
Ma, get the meatloaf ready for Rambo. He's hungry. Jeez, bro. 10 out of 12, 170 plus. That's insane, Rambo. Rambo, you're my boy. Appreciate you. I yelled at Rambo the other day for no reason, and I'm mistaken what he said. It's my fault. Rambo knows that. What a glorious day. House call Hendy. That's right. House call Hendy. This has got to be the second or best day. Sunday for the channel guys that we've been touting all year long. I mean,
Taking it to the house every time he touches the football, baby. Taking it to the house every time he touches the football,
thank you very much, Ray. Appreciate you. Garrett Wilson, big pain. Yeah, total disappointment. The Jets have been a total disappointment. How do we feel about Woody Marks now? Like him a lot. Starter, more of a flex play, but there's risk involved still. But, man, he looked good. Dynasty dropped McLaurin to pick up Travis Hunter. I in a vacuum, I'm okay with it. I'm not necessarily saying do that specific move, but if you had to and you're in that kind of league where there's that kind of talent sitting out there and you got to make this shift, I mean, sure, I'd prepare a little bit, but I don't know if either one's going to be what we want. But at least Hunter, I feel like, has a little bit more promise. Hold Hendy or sell him. Feel like Vrabel will go right back to Stevenson. Tony, you trust your gut on that one, but why on earth would I sell the man that just had 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. And we don't even know if Stevenson is going to be back soon. Traded Mason for Harvey last night. Smitty approved. I would say Smitty approved. Yes, I like that. Lost neighbors, Hampton, Kraft, Daniels, but blew out the number 1 team today. Hendy to the moon, says Clockwork. Hendy doing work. All right, we're getting through these super chats. We're almost through them, so we'll be good. Won $1,100 off Hendy's second TD. Kyron, 2 TDs. ETN TD, $11. Won Daniel, $1,100. Daniel, thank you for the super chat, young man. Daniel to the moon. Up 28. Other guy has Saquon. I didn't start a kicker because I didn't want to drop Fergie. I can still drop him for Elliott. Do you prefer not to? I don't know. Up 28, the guy still has Saquon. I don't know, bro. I don't. Chat, does he drop Fergie, pick up a kicker? Does he roll the dice that Saquon's under 28 points? I don't know. It depends how important this win is. Like, are you out of the playoffs, or might it just affect some seeding? If it might just affect seeding, I don't know if I'm that concerned, but I don't know, bro. It's on you. I can't make that call. It's an impossible call. 8-2 team PPR. Herbert, Gibbs, Hendy, London. I just say that if you're not knocked out, then I'm okay with you making that gamble. But like, you got to win, you know. Herbert, Gibbs, Hendy, London, Ibuka, Waddle, McBride, projected to be 190. Been listening to you since the beginning. Taz, thank you. You know, I haven't always been right. I'm not saying I'll continue to be right from here on out. There'll be a lot of ups and downs always. That's the nature of fantasy football. But so glad to see so many of you. This got to be the second best or best week we've had this year. It's been a phenomenal day. Any trade advice? 5 and 5. Thanks. 10-man Superflex QB Allen, Dart, Kyron, Rico. Let me look at this in 1 second. Just make sure this isn't a start bench question right here. Okay, 175. Let's see here. What's he saying here? 0 and 9. Oh, to put it up 145 to stay mathematically in it. Sam Darnold, Gibbs, Hendy, Parker in my $100 league, 2 and 7, and I put up 227 to stay in the hunt. Nice job, gamer. Nice job, man. You exploded today. 5 and 5, 10-man Superflex QB Allen, Dart, Fields, Kyron, Rico, Hendy. Keep Rico, keep Kyron. Judkins, I'd even keep Judkins. Hendy, I don't know. Well, hold on. Maybe we need to trade one of them. Benson, Harvey, Rice, Nico, Devontae Smith, Debo. It's a good team, JMO. I'm almost intrigued to just stand down, bro. Your team's got a lot of depth. They can weather through an injury or two. And the fact that JMO can really be your wide receiver 3 if you want to. Nico and Rice, you don't need a touch. Judkins, Hendy, Rico, Kyron. If you can start all 4, you're golden. If you can't start all 4, then you still have a good rotation. And then your quarterbacks, Allen and Dart, are fantastic. I'm fine with this team. I'd almost say you're more of a stand-down team than anything.
Alert.
And we got all the super chats out in time. Trade Sutton for Dart. I have Flacco and JD5. I would probably take Dart. I think that's fine. In a 1 QB, I think that's appropriate. As far as like what you could come up with this team, I'd probably say if you wanted to make a move, let's say, I don't think Judkins is the right sell right now. You know, and I'm not saying I want to sell Kyron, but if you were to sell Kyron and Devontae Smith for one big monster, maybe you take advantage of a Bijan owner right now. You trade him Kyron and Devontae Smith. Maybe Devontae Smith has a big day on Monday night, and you could trade him. Maybe you can use Debo now. Maybe you can use JMO now. I like keeping JMO, but maybe you could use JMO and Kyron now to get Bijan. Like, there are people that are freaking out, bro. Maybe you could use Kyron to get James Cook and do some sort of creative 2-for-2 with Debo or JMO or Devontae Smith if he does well. Don't trade Nico. Don't trade Rice. Don't trade Rico. Don't trade Hendy. Don't trade both of Kyron or Judkins, but I'd be open-minded to trading one. Don't trade Allen. Love your team. Your team's fantastic. Daniel with a super chat, $20 hauler. I have a feeling this is going to say something about Hendy. You know, you see a $20 hauler come in and you know it's probably going to be a celebration. Super chat.
Alert. Super chat.
I don't know if I've ever gotten a $20 Smitty, you suck. I've got a 5 before. It's 5 or 10. I don't know if we've ever gotten a 20. Son that 1160 felt greedy. Smitty and his advice to the mother freaking Jupiter. Oh, this is Daniel. Daniel. So when Daniel, I love Daniel, man. Daniel said, so Daniel, let me put context here because even I didn't put this together until this right now. Daniel said won $1,100 off that Hendy 2 TD, Kyron 2 TD, ETN TD $11 contest that he put. And I said, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. And as I read that, he's saying he felt greedy. You know, bro, you don't owe me anything, but I appreciate that. That's awesome. So he said, you know what? I'm going to give Smitty a $20 holler. He said, son, that 1160 felt greedy. This is for Smitty and his advice to the motherfucking Jupiter. Sorry.
To Jupiter.
All right. And just so you know, I do swear. I try not to because of monetization. It's nothing to do with me being a straight, and narrow young man. You are the pillar of consistency, champ. Thank you, champ. Appreciate your super chat. The game has begun. I will see all of you for the Sunday Night Football wrap-up show, which will also be the waiver wire show for week number 11. Congrats to all of you glorious people who scored like monsters today. Angel, a.k.a. Andor, thank you for the $100 super chat. $20 haulers from Flea Nice, Daniel, Joseph, appreciate you. Appreciate all the other super chats. Appreciate the gifted memberships. The gifted memberships from, who dropped gifted memberships? It was James, right? James with 20 gifted memberships. Celebratory messages. I always do those kind of at the end, just so you know. I don't really see many of them during the show. Hendo, House Call Unleashed, Trevon Henderson. You guys, thank you for dropping the all these different celebration messages. Aaron Rodgers back, scrambling. I do think that INT is a good hire. What a day. What a day. What a day. What a glorious day. What a glorious, glorious, glorious day.
Taking it to the house every time he touches the football.
I'll see you all tonight for the wrap-up show.
Taking it to the house every time he touches the football, baby.
Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Live whenever big news breaks, and live at midnight Eastern almost every single night. And no, we don't shut it down in February, March, April. We are 365, 24/7. When January 1 comes, we're talking about 2026 already. So those of you upset about everything. Nothing worse. There's nothing more, I don't know, there's nothing more irritating. Like someone could say, Smitty, I hate you, or whatever, and that doesn't even bother me. You know what bothers me more than anything? I'll see you in August. I hate that. August? This is why you're where you're at. If you're saying see you in August, no wonder we're going to see you in August. What do you don't do anything till August? We're here January through January. August? But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux.
Hi, I'm worried, William.
Get breached.
Brees Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Brees. He's Brees.
He does a hell of a job. A hell of a job. A hell of a job.
Brees Hall, please report to the moon.
Κοίτας Χαλεπαγιώτ.
Again, be back right after this game to do the waiver wire show recap show. See you all later. Appreciate every single one of you.